back to my channel, and today's video is going to be on my drugstore foundation routine. I recently uploaded a high-end foundation routine, which I hope you guys got a chance to watch. If you haven't, I'll leave it in the description box down below. But this look is just for those days where you don't want to pull for your higher end makeup, or if you're a college student like me and you just prefer not to, you know, waste them coins, you know, on that higher end makeup. This look is going to be for us ladies out there who want something a little bit more affordable. Alright, so to get started, I'm going to be using my e.l.f. primer. I absolutely love this primer. It actually works just as well as other primers I've used before. Helps my foundation definitely stay on all day. And it gives my skin like a very smooth look, so I love it. Now, what I like to do before adding my foundation, I actually like to let my primer sit for about 2 minutes just so it can kind of dry down and get a little bit tacky. Alright, so now that I've let my primer dry down, my favorite drugstore foundation of choice. Alright, so now that I have let my primer dry down, my favorite drugstore brush to use, whether it's for drugstore foundation or just for my any foundation, is the e.l.f. powder brush. This brush is $4 now. It's just a flat top kabuki brush, but it really gives me full coverage. So this is the brush that I'm going to be using. And for my foundation, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless. I prefer the Dewy and Smooth just because I'm more of a dewy girl, but Maybelline Fit Me foundations are like the best lower end foundations. So I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of my hand and take the bottom of the brush to scoop up my product and blend out one side at a time. What you got? Alright, so now that I have my foundation applied, I'm going to go in with my all-time favorite drugstore concealer. And I'll be honest, when this concealer first came out, I wasn't understanding what the hype was about. I just wasn't getting it. But this is the LA Pro Girl Conceal, and I've learned with this concealer, you have to let it dry down a little bit and get tacky. Otherwise, I feel like the water separates in this foundation and you start to knock off a lot of your product that's on your face. So what I like to do, I actually like to use the applicator tip that it comes with and just create like a V shape under my eyes. And aside from my eyes, I do like to go over my Cupid's bow. And excuse me for chomping on this gum, I'm about to take it out. Alright, so at this point what I like to do is I like to just kind of let it sit for about 2 minutes and let it get kind of tacky as it dries down, and then blend it out because it'll give me more coverage. Also, what I like to do a lot of times is, this is in the shade Cool Tan, which is perfect for a subtle highlight. But if I really want my highlight to be beaming, I'll go in with the shade lighter in this concealer in the color Medium Beige. But today, I think I'm just going to stick to Cool Tan. Alright, so it's been about 2.5 minutes. I like to go in with my beauty blender because I already have one. If you don't own a beauty blender, a great drugstore beauty blender type sponge to start off with would be the Real Techniques brush. Sponge. I do have that sponge as well. I use them when all of these are dirty and I don't feel like cleaning one. But they work almost just as well. Definitely still a very, very good sponge. Very, very comparable to the beauty blender for a drugstore brand. Alright, so I have my concealer blended out, and as you can see, this foundation with this concealer, they work together like magic. It gives me a very nice, soft, neat beat face. You know, it's not too dramatic. If you did want your face to be more dramatic, what you do is, instead of applying your foundation all over first, you would actually go in under your eyes with your concealer without any foundation, because it'll make the color brighter, because otherwise it's gonna kind of mix with your foundation like it did today, and it'll give you a highlight but just not as strong. I don't personally have a drugstore foundation setting powder for my under eye because I've just never felt the need to buy one. But I use my Laura Mercier. But if you don't have this powder, I've heard great reviews on the Airspun translucent powder. I haven't personally used it, but it seems to work well. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my translucent powder. And while my beauty blender is still damp, and you can see me like blending out still my concealer under my eyes, because I have like major bags, and if I don't set them immediately, oh my gosh, they're going to crease like bad. So I'm just going to take this powder and set under my eyes. Now you guys know I'm not a big fan of baking, so whatever powder I apply, I really do just press it into my skin. I feel like pressing the powder into your skin is what gives you that flawless look. I mean, I guess baking might work better for my clients that are super oily, or my skin was super oily. But I just find pressing the product gives me the longevity and the mateness under my eyes that I like. And as you can see, even though it's a translucent powder, it doesn't give me that like white dusty cast. You know, it just makes my foundation look super smooth and super high end under my eyes, even though it's just, you know, my drugstore stuff. All right, now to set the warmer areas of my face, I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. This is like my favorite drugstore powder. I also like the Fit Me powders, though they can be a little bit chalky, so I actually like to use them for contouring. But I'm just going to use this powder and a big fluffy powder brush and apply this all over my warm areas. Alright, so now that I have my powder applied, I like to now go in with my under eye mascara. I like to do this after my powder because otherwise you're just going to cover it up with your powder and concealer anyway and then have to redo it. Now for contouring my face for drugstore, and honestly I use this Beige cosmetic palette whether it's on high-end foundation or drugstore foundation. So I just like to take this orangey brown shade, and it's too dark, in this shade here. I'm just gonna take these two today. This is a little bit more peachy, more brown. This is a little bit more warm and yellow. So I'm just gonna mix these two shades and make the fish face. And warm up my face. All right, so that's pretty much it for the foundation part, but just to kind of complete the look, I'm gonna be using a lip liner pencil by a brand called Magic. It's honestly just one of those hair store brands, and just lining my lips. Now I'm gonna be going in with blushing Pout number 682, one of Maybelline's matte lipstick. They're like my favorite drugstore lipsticks. Absolutely love this color. Oh my god, this is like my first time using it. But this is like the perfect pouty pink. Oh my gosh, I love this color. So anyway, that's pretty much it for my drugstore foundation routine. I do not have a drugstore setting spray that I use anymore. I used to use the e.l.f. setting spray, which is a great setting spray. I just don't have any today. So for setting spray, if I was about to set my face, which I'm not because I'm about to record another video, I would use my Urban Decay setting spray. But again, the e.l.f. setting spray is literally just as good. For drugstore highlighters, personally, I have not found a drugstore highlighter that I can say I've personally tried that is a good highlighter. A lot of the highlighters that I would have used from a drugstore would probably be just a mineralized eyeshadow, because those work best to like blend into your skin. A lot of the drugstore highlighters are literally just not even swatchable. Like, I tried to actually buy some for this video and I swatched them at Walmart. Yes, I'm one of them people. I swatch makeup that's not a tester because I don't have time, and to be honest, they just all suck. So this is pretty much it for my foundation routine. Please stay tuned for the next video because I will be doing some very fun highlighter swatches. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so before you leave, and I'll see you guys in the next video.